Hello everyone, I am Taureor and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. Today we're going to play as Luxembourg in 1939 and not capitulate. Yes, really. Let's go. See, the problem with playing Luxembourg is that it's small and democratic, and the Germans will attack it. Now, if you play in 1936, you have plenty of time to conquer the Benelux, or maybe do a power drop on Hungary, or perhaps just join the Axis. But if you start in 1939, you have about 3 months until the Germans attack you. Sometimes it can be a little more, but just a bit. So, what can we do in 3 months to resist the German attack? You will find out after this message from a sponsor. This video is brought to you by World of Tanks, a game in which you drive tanks and you also shoot tanks. It is a free-to-play game with loads of tanks, and it has been perfected for a long time. The first time I actually played World of Tanks was in 2012. Now, obviously it has been updated since then. You can register into the game using the link in the description below. And if you do that and use the invite code TANKTASTIC, you will get the T127 tank, 500 gold and 7 days of premium access. Now that is only for new players. And if you already played the game, great! Let me know in the comments what your favorite tank is. I, as a Polish man, have always had a soft spot for the Soviet T-34 model, because of a certain Polish TV series. Anyway, back to the game now. Regular difficulty, Ironman mode, historical focuses, and it is a normal Ironman game, but just not in 1936. Let's start. Essentially, there are 3 things we could do here. One of them is stand strong against fascism and try to defend Luxembourg to the death. That would result in our death. We have enough time to maybe build 3 forts, and if we start immediately, maybe get like 6,000 or 7,000 manpower in the field. That is not enough to withstand Blitzkrieg. So that option, while valiant and so on, will also not work. Option 2 is quite interesting. So you can join the Allies, then capitulate, then use government in exile mechanics. With that, you can use your political power to influence the politics of all the fascist countries and start civil wars in them, thus prompting an Allied victory quickly. After which you would be reinstated in Luxembourg. An interesting game, probably a good plan, but I have something else planned for today, something that will not result in our capitulation. Normally it is enough to turn fascist and join the Axis to prevent the German attack. Given our limited time, we can't just wait for a referendum, because we have a lot of democratic support. Given our size, we can't do this through a civil war, because for a civil war you need at least 2 states. If you just have one state and trigger a civil war, it will just reshuffle your government, and that's it. Worry not, I have this under control. See, what we're going to do is first set up all the research and stuff, produce some guns, do political effort, build a factory, and with that done, we can hire some advisors that will be instrumental to our survival. See, we're going to need a fascist demagogue, and we're also going to need a communist revolutionary. Why? Well, you'll see in a moment. We need a lot of political options. And essentially that is it for now. I could also hire a silent workhorse, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough political power if I do. Yes, we're going to need a lot of political power to make this happen. Let's unpause and speed things up. We are going to be doing a lot of things here in the decisions screen. Each of our advisors gives us this little window. We have one for fascism and one for communism. We're going to use both of them very, very cleverly. Poland joined allies, Germany attacked Poland. We're gonna do war propaganda against Germany. That war support will come in handy later. So now we're going to open up political discourse for fascism. And we're also going to open up political discourse for communism and expand civil support for fascism. That will decrease our stability, which is quite important, and also give us extra support for fascism. Now we have to wait for support for fascism and communism to grow to at least 10% each, and also keep doing civil support when that is available, because I need that stability to be lower. Civil support again. See, political support for fascism and communism is growing quickly. And Warsaw has fallen, which means it's almost the end of Poland and almost the time for us to be attacked. Fear not, Luxembourg, your overlord has you covered. We're going to now prepare for civil war. You might recall that I said not so long ago that civil war will not work. It will just reshuffle our government. Well, there's also merit to reshuffling your government sometimes. We could also expand civil support for communism, but that will not really be necessary. Poland has capitulated. Now we have the option to discredit the government. We have 2 of those decisions, and each of them will reduce support for democracy by 10%, so a total of 20. But we're not going to use it. Not yet. Okay, and they are justifying a war goal against us. A regular one. Okay, that's a bit fast, but I can handle that. Just need one more week. Let's let this civil support decision come to fruition. Need my stability a little bit lower. Right. Yeah, that works. Political effort complete. And our stability is at 64, which is a perfect amount for what we have planned. Now we also need to prepare for civil war for fascism. So what have we done so far? We have prepared for 2 civil wars, and we have opened up political discourse twice. That gives us access to the decision to ignite civil war twice, and to discredit the government twice. We have 78% support for democracy, 11 for communism, and 10 for fascism. Yeah, I can work with that. First, we're gonna do anti-communist raids. And also, we're going to ban communism. Why? You just spent so much time increasing it. Well, I only needed that support to be able to ignite the civil war. For now, we're going to just ban communism. This decreased communist support increased democratic and fascist support. Still very little support for fascism, but that's not really a problem, because now we are going to ignite civil war for communism. And the civil war did not really trigger, but it did reshuffle our government. We're still democratic, but party support changed a lot. What's next? Well, next we are going to discredit the government. Discrediting the government put democracy at 40%, communism at 23%, and fascism at 36%. Well, that's fine. So let's ignite the civil war again. Igniting the civil war again reshuffled the parties once more. Democracy fell to 16%. Communism rose to 35% and fascism rose to 48%. There are several variants of these decisions you can take that will still succeed. For example, if I discredited it twice and then ignited the civil war again, it would also work, but I think this is the optimal way to do it, because now we discredit the government yet again. Oh, look, 53 for fascism, 40 for communism, and 6 for democracy. Interesting, that means we can now hold a national referendum and become fascist. In what, 2.5 months? And our leader is crap. War support minus 10%. Well, that sucks, but at least now we'll be able to save our country from the Germans. Because we're now fascist, which means when I unpause this, the Axis will like me. They now have strategic reasons to be friendly to Luxembourg. So, let's ask to join faction. And that's how you survive as Luxembourg in 1939. The Germans are justifying a war goal against me, but they can't attack me. We are in the same faction now. Germany usually doesn't justify, they just use the event war goal, but still we managed to save ourselves from them. And now, as a proud member of the Axis, we're going to survive. Oh, I forgot, let's train some troops. And now we can start spending political power. Let's get a silent workhorse, and that research slot too. Because we're not going to do much in the near future. Also, let's fire the communist. We don't need him anymore. It's a pity we got such a horrible leader. Again, the captain of industry bid can help a little bit, but war support decrease will hurt us. Let's watch the world burn around us while Fortress Luxembourg stands tall and proud. Also, I probably should have made the civilian factory first. And let's get forts and anti-air stuff and an airport. And a radar station, everything we can, because we have a lot of time and not a lot of territory. Unfortunately, we had to tank our stability for that, but also that means we survived. Germany will have focus war goals against us, but they won't be able to use them because we are in the Axis. Also, we're not a puppet, so we don't have to join the wars. Germany attacks the Netherlands, we're safe. We even have German troops in our territory, but we're very friendly to them. And no, we will not accept their call to arms. Now, if it wasn't for our terrible leader, we would be able to go to war economy. Unfortunately, he's crap. Netherlands capitulate. And soon, so will Belgium, while we stay here, quite safe. Now, I could quickly deploy our units and we could join the war and perhaps get a bit of France, but it is not worth it. Not at the moment. And that takes care of France. Let's deploy our units. Train them a bit in the field. Flight of Rudolf Hess. Ah, Luxembourg. Quite safe. What are we waiting for? Well, we're waiting for a war between the Germans and the Soviets, of course, because we're going to annex a large chunk of the Soviet Union. At least, that's the plan. Surprisingly, we start with a quite developed mass assault doctrine, because, yeah, that's synonymous to Luxembourg. I'm actually going to continue it. Let's do mass mobilization. I normally prefer superior firepower, but, you know, it's good to mix things up from time to time. Germany attacks Denmark and Norway. Denmark taken care of. Now let's do militarism. I'm gonna need that manpower. We're not going to engage in anything that's happening here. Also, let's go to limited conscription. Hungary joins the Axis. Good, the more the merrier. Come on, friends, let's kick some Soviet butt together. Nationalism focus. And Bulgaria joins us as well. One big happy family. Nationalism done, now militarism. And with that we're going to actually have some manpower. Trotsky is taken care of. And extensive conscription. Alright, the Soviets have taken Bessarabia. We still have some time before they fight the Germans. And militarism. Right, what else are we gonna do? I want to do secret weapons. The extra research slot when possible, and also doctrine and equipment efforts, and that's pretty much everything. So let's do secret weapons. Also, I'm gonna edit the template and some artillery alongside with infantry. Let's hire a military theorist. Also, we're gonna need a field marshal. Well, he's not perfect, but he'll do. Mexican-Soviet Republic Joint Comintern. That is weird. Should really implement some historical focuses for Mexico. And with the secret weapons, we can go into advanced computing machine. Interesting. Mexican-Soviet Republic declared war on Guatemala. Are they gonna screw up my whole scenario? They might. Okay, so they're attacking everyone in Central America, apparently. I wonder if the United States will intervene. Probably not, because Mexico is guaranteed by them as well. I wonder if any of these countries will join the Axis or the Allies. Okay, El Salvador joined Axis, which means we are about to be at war with the Soviets. Much faster than I anticipated. Which also means I'm going to have to change my plan a little bit. Then again, I don't need to start fighting immediately. I can join in later. What matters is that I have some war score at the end. Honduras joined allies. Okay, that means the Soviet Union will be at war with everyone soon. Everyone. Alright, that's weird and also might be a problem. This might actually destroy my plan, but let's wait and see. If I were to join El Salvador in their war... Oh yes, I can actually join El Salvador in their war against the Soviets without joining their war against the Allies. Let's do that. This way we will be in a defensive war, which will give us extra war support, and not at war with the Allies, which is exactly what we want. Perfect. Now with that, we'll be able to go to war economy and also mobilize a bit quicker. Oh, and Croatia wants to send me one convoy. Well, I don't have any, which is quite nice of them. Please, send me convoy. Interesting, the British want military access from me. And we're both at war with the Soviet Union, which means I will also be able to get military access from all of the allies. Well, that might make my life a bit simpler. Ask for docking rights. Right, and ask them all for military access as well. Again, might come in handy. War economy. Oh. Okay. Catholic Mexico. Sure, why not? Tanutuva and Mongolia have been called in. Oh no. Unfortunately, Germany is taking very heavy casualties. I think they might not have been ready for a war against the Soviet Union. So right now, everyone's fighting everyone. Axis are fighting Comintern and the Allies, Comintern is fighting Allies and the Axis, and the Allies are fighting Axis and the Comintern. Costa Rica joined Allies. Okay. Mexican-Soviet Republic. You're so aggressive. Panama joined allies. Dominican Republic, everyone's getting involved. Okay, welcome to the party. Peru, everyone is against the Soviets, apparently. Yeah, I need my stability to be higher. Japan attacked Philippines. I wonder what the United States will do. This is a weird scenario. Human wave offensive. Extra population. Oh, and I did a doctrine efforts, and I should have been doing technology sharing. Because we can do it now because we are in a war with a strong ally. What is going on? Japan declared war on the Dutch East Indies and United States join. That means I can also get docking rights and military access from them. This would be a very interesting situation if we actually had more manpower, because right now we're not really in a position to use this. Although, I could backstab the British. Let's see what they have in their territory. We do have military access and docking rights, so there we go. Let's walk around and see. Oh, London is actually defended. How about the other bits? Not really, no. I wonder if I could just order 66 the British. That would be quite an achievement as Luxembourg. Damn it, I should have duplicated the super small unit. I did not do that. Well, let's duplicate it now. You know what I should have done? I should have taken out the British this way right before the United States joined. Then again, Germany would have gotten all of that territory. That's not necessarily what we want. Catholic Mexico capitulates and the Germans might actually be losing against the Soviet Union. Might need to flip sides. What the hell is going on here? This is weird. The Germans are going to take out Mexico and possibly the United States early on. I mean, it's not that likely to succeed. If they do, that will change everything. I don't think the United States are ready for a German invasion in 1942. Mexican Soviet Republic capitulates and the Germans are attacking the United States. I probably should really get in on the action. Just side with the Axis completely. Let's edit the small template down to be very small. This is probably the weirdest scenario I have seen in this game. The Germans invading the United States at the beginning of 1942 through Mexico. And they did not cause this, they're doing it all on their own. Now this is difficult terrain, so the Germans might have a hard time pushing through here. Oh, and the Romanians are going too, and Bulgaria. This game has not surprised me this much for a very long time. Remember, we have military access, so let's see what's going on here. There is a small defense here. Let's check out Philadelphia and New York. Now, we would be able to do a lot here if we had more manpower. Unfortunately, we do not. Philadelphia is undefended. I wonder, is Canada defended? Yes, kind of. I'm really curious to see what will happen down here. I'm not sure the Germans can handle fighting on all of these fronts at the same time, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Really should have increased my stability. The strikes keep hitting me. Okay, this is one of the strangest games I have ever seen happen. So I'm going to abandon my plan now and get in on the action and see what happens. How about that? I need to add a tiny bit of post-commentary here. My plan was completely different. I just found the Mexico development to be so interesting that I had to jump on it. So from now on everything is improvised and not planned, which will make it less effective, but hopefully more interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think, and stick with me to the end of the video when I will explain what my original plan was. Let's switch you all to the small template. Modify it to be even smaller. Now I don't need those support companies, but I forgot to save the initial template before modifying it. Let's train a lot of those small guys. Yeah, I'm getting strikes all the time. Should have improved worker conditions apparently. Let's make the small template smaller. China is taken care of. And yes, Japan attacked the United States before taking care of China. Everything is strange. Alright, let's take some risks. I'm going to invade Britain. Let's garrison Britain. Victory points only. Spain joins now. They have a troop in London. No, they don't. They left. Okay, cool. Oh, someone sank my ships. There must be some communists here. Alright, let's not garrison the United States and just beat up the British. Perhaps the invasion through Mexico will actually work out. Who knows? I don't. They seem to be deploying troops in London and then moving them out. So the perfect moment to strike would be when they move out. Okay, I'm gonna attack someone. Who should we justify on? How about I just justify on the United States? 10 days. Sure, let's do that. And we'll just limit ourselves to taking out Britain and nobody else. Bloody hell, strikes again. United Kingdom declared war on Iceland. Not very nice of them. See, another troop, but it's leaving. We have our guys in all of their victory points, and they are mostly undefended. We denounce American ideals, yes, sure. If we can strike when they have no troops in their important victory points, yeah, this looks like the perfect moment to strike. Our unit in Portsmouth and in Plymouth will die, but the rest should take over Britain in no time. Okay then, let's attack. Now I need Britain to join this war immediately. Please do that. France, come on Britain. Yes, and that should be enough for the British to capitulate. Haha. Order 66. Normally I would do this in a completely different way, but I just wanted to get in on the action very quickly and see what happens. And the British have capitulated. Okay. See, this actually gives me some production potential. Not a lot of manpower, though. We have taken out the British. Now, the United States are still here, and it looks like they're not going anywhere. I need to take a break and think this over, because I had a completely different plan for this game. With Britain and their many factories, we can invest in more research slots and more equipment for our guys. Oh, also, you guys focus on ports, not victory points in Britain. We don't want them to retake it. And honestly, I'm not sure the Axis will be able to push from the south into the United States, so I'm going to start boosting ideology once we get back into positive political power, so that we can do a civil war in the United States. That might become necessary. Now, I'm pretty confident that Germany will defeat the Soviet Union in time, and we will want to join in on that, but we want to do it in a smart way. We don't want to waste our resources. Oh, also, it would be good to be gentle to the British. We don't want too many rebellions, but, you know, rebellions will be inevitable. But we can minimize that, at least partially. And the Brits are trying to retake Newcastle. Let's train 2 units of the bigger type. I might go to 3 later. Greece has capitulated to Bulgaria. Interesting. But things in America are not going so great. Also, Germany is moving away from it to fight the Russians. I'm not sure that's a good idea. And when the German forces reach around here, or maybe even just Moscow, we will be joining the attack. Yeah, we need to keep a garrison here because the Brits keep trying to retake their territory. And the rebels are already damaging quite a lot of stuff. I should probably go to construction and repair eventually. Things are not going well in America. Venezuela has capitulated. But we still have Peru. We might be able to attack back from Peru. I'm really counting on the American Civil War that I'm going to cause. Other than that, I have removed the engineer companies from these defenders because they don't need them, and I'm working on sending some troops to the Russian front. Also, Germany is doing Reichskommissariats. Let's get some more artillery into this template. I think it's time to gradually get involved in the fight against the Russians. But first, let's add some more infantry to this unit. And you guys can focus on taking this bit, because it's about to be cut off. Turkey has joined the Axis. Alright, the Soviets are going down even faster now. We joined in for a moment, but the casualties were too high for the amount of gains we were making, so it wasn't actually worth it. We're going to join in once Moscow falls, or right before that. Fall of Leningrad. Perfect. Okay, I think it's finally go time. Focus on Moscow. Should have gone with superior firepower. Can we be the ones to take Moscow? Probably not, but we can be right next to it when it happens. There we go. Oh, we actually were the ones who took Moscow. Cool, did that give me a lot of occupation score? It did give me a bit. Okay, great. Now just continue on deep into the Soviet Union. Now the Soviets will crumble. Actually, I'm going to add a few of the units that are defending the United Kingdom to that army. Hey, 1% participation. Fall of Stalingrad. Actually, I probably should have participated in that as well. Let's have a little look around the world. Japan has taken care of India, still struggling with British Malaya. The United States have dominated Central America. Peru still stands as a member of the Axis, and of course we hold Britain, and the Soviet Union is crumbling. Was our participation? Not so great. Yeah, those tiny units really die easy. Still just 1%. And let's have a look at the United States, because I think it's time to start staging a coup. A place that's easily accessible to the Axis, so let's do Florida. Fascist coup in Florida. Coming up. Yeah, probably should not have kitted these units out so much and just sent a few more instead. We're about to finish off the... Oh, okay. Here goes the Soviet Union. Now, we're going to want to puppet them, but we want to puppet them right. We want to puppet them in such a way that will prevent the Germans from taking all of this stuff. So, we need to puppet them with a province somewhere here and then cut the Germans off from taking the rest. Then we can be left with this bit, and that should provide us with sufficient manpower to proceed. So, what do? I think we should puppet them with Tomsk as their capital. Then we can move south in the next round and cut them off here, and move north and cut them off here, if all goes well. So, let's take all states, untake Tomsk, puppet, untake the other states. This way we puppet the Soviet Union with that specific province only. End of the turn. Okay, Germans only took a little bit. Perfect. Now we select our new subject and feed them some provinces. That will cut them off from German influences. Perfect. Oh! Exactly 15. 1 point less and we wouldn't be able to do it. Alright. Let's take the ones that cost 0, because they have no factories or anything like that. And end the turn. See, this was necessary to cut them off from the Germans. We still want to take as much as possible, as quickly as possible, because if we don't, the Germans will. Okay, this is as much as we can take this round. And the Germans took the rest, but the part that we cut off is safely in our hands, which is perfect. Now I'm going to take that myself. Why? Well, because we need some factories to be able to annex Russia as a puppet. So the rest of their territory we're going to be taking as Luxembourg directly. Now, of course, I could have shadow puppeted China and had infinite manpower. We would need to do that right after joining the Axis when the war was starting and just asked Japan for military access. We could do that easily, but I don't want to use China in every playthrough. There are other options, and that is it. End of the Soviet Union. Luxembourg occupies all this territory here. And we really didn't do much in the war against the Soviet Union, did we? No, not much at all. We did quite a lot in the war against the British, and now with the Soviets defeated, I hope the Germans focus on the New World. And how much manpower did the Russian Empire end up with? 200,000. That is quite enough to do colonial templates. And our only serious enemy that is remaining right now is the United States. Unfortunately, all these British territories are very, very damaged. Let's do a colonial template of the Russian Empire. Cavalry is very effective at suppressing rebels. Switch all these units to Russian cavalry. Now let's see if the Germans manage to take back America. Dispatching some units to the United Kingdom. Are the Germans moving to America? Kind of. Oh, also I should invade Mongolia. That's extra factories for us. How are you in that resistance? Pretty well. Apparently, we've used up all the Russian manpower. Our troops are in position. Let's attack Mongolia. Mongolia is communist, so nobody will help them. Mongolia, here we come. The Mongols actually probably have better equipment than we do, but there's more of us. And Japan's getting really aggressive here. There is more of us, so we can just try and go around the enemy, even though we don't have equipment and these units are dying quickly. I do like cavalry, it is quite fast. The might of the Mongol Empire will soon be at my disposal. Oh, they have quite a lot of factories actually. There we go. Mongolia, annex. How's America? Not great. The Axis are trying to win back Venezuela, and that's about it. Iceland has capitulated. That is unfortunate. The Americans might decide to come after me next. And that would be horrible. So yeah, I just need to take out the United States now. And we have enough supply to stage a coup in the United States. Great. Might be time to annex the Russians. Here, have all my convoys. Well, almost all my convoys. And all of this. All of it. Why not? I'm gonna get it all back anyway. I wonder if I wasn't too quick with the coup. They might not have enough support. Also, it is about to fire, so I should probably prepare an army to go there. Next month we'll be annexing the Russians, and then we can participate in an American Civil War. High resistance in Sussex. And the game crashed. We're back, hopefully the crash doesn't happen again, and this time I'm not clicking on Sussex. And here it is. The American Civil War has happened. Perfect. That's quite a lot of units, actually. And we made it happen. That might be enough to cause the demise of the United States. I should quickly get in on the action. Let's send one full army there. Yeah, they did get quite a lot of troops, so this might actually succeed. Especially if the Germans decide to get in here. Will they? I don't know. Hopefully. Oh, atomic bombing of Lebanon, of all places. Okay, I guess. Alright, if we don't get a German army here very quickly, this is going to fail. And a naval invasion of Canada, and we can now annex Russia. Let's do that. Luxembourg. Not perfect, you know, but we did start in 1939, and we have Spanish soldiers. New Zealand has capitulated, another piece of good news, and Italy and Spain have landed in Canada. Now, what will Germany do? On the one hand, this is not looking too good. On the other, reinforcements are on the way. Free American Empire has capitulated, which is bad, of course. That's an Axis swarm going towards the New World. Germany is not a naval power, but Italy and Spain have some experience. This is not looking too good for the Germans because there's too many troops on too little territory. Even the United States cannot defend against the world. The entirety of Axis and the Japanese faction are against them. I'm also going to stage a coup in Canada. Yeah, it seems like I was a bit too hasty with the coup on the United States. Should have increased their fascism a bit more. Fall of Pearl Harbor. We might see a Japanese attack from the other side, which would help quite a lot. We've been pushed out of Florida, but Italy is doing stuff. You know what? I did my part. I'm just going to sit back and wait because Japan has landed. Let's get Colombia involved in this. If we attack Colombia, Venezuela and Peru should push here and help. See, maybe we can't do much militarily, but we can influence the politics, and Japan is invading Australia. Hopefully they'll take care of the United States afterwards. The Turks are landing in Canada. Fall of New South Wales. Let's attack Colombia. This way we should open a path to Central America. I mean, technically we own Panama, but if Venezuela and Peru can push into Colombia, then the supply situation here will become better. Australia capitulates. Japan, we still need to see you in the Americas. That is quite a lot of troops in Colombia. If only you sent so many to the United States when you had the chance. The plan actually seems to be working. Connecting Venezuela and Peru over to Panama has caused the troops over here to actually aggressively move north. Unitary Canada has joined the Axis. Romanians going to fight in Canada. Right, at this point I am annoyed with the AI, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope you don't feel dissatisfied with me not conquering everything, but normally I would start again, but the Mexico situation was quite interesting and I wanted to show it to you. I also once again allowed myself to hope that my allies will do their job, and once again I ended up disappointed. Why disappointed? Well, because nobody's opposing Hirohito. He took out all the islands here, so where's the invasion force against the United States? The Axis troops are just sitting here doing nothing, and when we had a huge chunk of the United States and could actually have an offensive, well, nobody really wanted to join in. And we do have naval dominance in the area, so there should be naval invasions left and right. Essentially, I'm kind of disappointed with how the attack on the Americas is handled by the Axis. And I can't do everything myself, I'm just Luxembourg. But hey, we did take a large chunk of Russia. Also, to not leave you feeling dissatisfied with what transpired here, I'm going to explain what my plan was before the Mexico thing happened. Because rationally, I should not have gotten involved against the Allies. That was not a smart thing to do. But I have very rarely seen such a development, so I wanted to get in on the action. And had to redo all my plans in real time. Also, see, there's tons and tons of German troops all over the place. Why? There's nobody to challenge you. The Soviets are dead. The Allies are dead apart from the United States. All these troops should be in America, which is a bit frustrating. Still, we did get Britain and a big chunk of Russia. Back to what my plan was. My plan was to first flip ideologies and not be killed by Germany. Then wait until they fight the Soviet Union and, just like we did, join in that and take a large chunk of Russia to provide us with factories and manpower. Invade Mongolia. And in that alternate scenario, after taking all that Russian land, we are at peace with the Allies. We are at peace generally. So what we do next is keep this Russian to provide us with manpower and factories, fortify Luxembourg very heavily. I mean max anti-air, level 10 forts and so on, and hundreds of thousands of troops in this little square here. And then we flip to the Allies and fight Germany, either just sitting in Luxembourg or expanding from there. That was the original plan, but then the Mexico thing happened, so I am curious to hear what you guys prefer. This video, or the alternate one I just described where I have a plan for everything and just stick to that plan. Or do you prefer improvisation, which doesn't necessarily end in success, but is arguably more interesting? Make sure to let me know in the comments, and I might make a poll for that. I'm really curious. Also, if you would like to play this yourself, there is one more way of handling Luxembourg in 1939 that I want to propose to you, and it starts essentially the same. We flip ideologies through this long and convoluted process I showed at the beginning, but then, after we've joined the Axis, we immediately justify on China and get into the war with Japan, getting military access from Japan. We acquire some war score against China, shadow up at China, get infinite manpower, and proceed as usual with infinite manpower. But I didn't want to do it in this video. We don't need to use China every time. So let me know what kind of video you prefer, planned out fully or more improvisational. But still, I have to be disappointed in the Axis and Japan. Just look at the factions map mode. There's a little bit of allies down here in Africa. The rest is their enemies. Now, I don't want to shit on the AI of this game. It's very good. It has to be for such a complex game. Just, this is one thing that annoys me quite a lot. Namely, how the AI handles the invasion of Britain and North America. And before we go, a reminder, this video had a sponsor. And again, this video was sponsored by World of Tanks. Click the link in the description below to register, get some free stuff and start playing now. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.